Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long was 1975. A YouTuber on the rise, reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long Wars was 1975.
This is a ugly loading screen is what this is. This is Return of the Jedi on the ATARI ST, released by Domark in 1987, based on the movie of the same name, released in 1983, and the arcade game, I want to say, was released in 1984, because it was released before Empire, but after Star Wars. Because obviously Empire was a conversion kit for the original Star Wars game, and those were both vector graphics. This was something entirely different and was an isometric shooter based on certain parts of the movie. It's not as iconic as the other two games, but I still have a massive soft spot for this because of that arcade we used to play in Minehead as kids. My brother Ian, twin brother, he particularly loved this, and it still had the awesome... Listen to that. That's some pretty dandy sampled speech. Dare I go as far as to say that that sounds better than the actual speech in the arcade game? Or that might be a main thing. Or maybe they improved it for the Atari ST version. Anyway, yeah, so you had the actual yoke that the other two games had. And yeah, had a massive soft spot for it. Played this on the Amiga. And I'm assuming this, that is a port of this, because it's got the exact same looking style, graphics, colours, and that big bezel down the right hand side that I guess is there because they are lazy and to keep the speed up. But it's Return of the Jedi, so I have to play it. Haven't played Empire or Star Wars on the Atari ST because both of them won't work. Anyway, for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, don't worry, I'll get into the game later. Even though current Disney hates legacy Star Wars because it stars men, and current Disney hates men, it only likes Mary Sue's. Considering it was only shown on what, a couple of hundred screens in America, and there was no build-up or advertising for it whatsoever because, like I said, Disney hates old Star Wars, only likes its shit follow-up, woke garbage trilogy, and all the crap woke shite on Disney Plus. It still took 4.7 million in a couple of weeks, which may not sound insane, but is insane. Anyway, my favourite Star Wars movies are Empire, then Star Wars, then Jedi. Harrison Ford may dial it in, but it's still a great movie. That's so good. Anyway, let's get into this. I'm playing this on my Super Console X, so I am playing this with the shitest pads ever, so it's going to be very difficult. Anyway, level 1, speeder bikes. Level 2, you're in space. Level 3, AT-AT, and it flips between those three levels, and it updates them, and you know, you go into the Death Star when they're in space, so then you're leading with two wingmen, and Millennium Falcon, and two Wing and two X-Men. You're flying over, you know, Star Destroyers. It's a very, very simple, short-ish, level-wise game, but it's an arcade machine. It's made to make money, and it is balls-horrifically hard, especially since the scrolling doesn't look too good. Fire. 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 The music's alright for the ST. Thank you. It wouldn't let me skip that. Right, easy, 0 points. We get no points for this. You move the Death Star, but that's so good. I immediately set it on 0, but yeah, so we piss off. Are we Leia? And that was Luke, because you know, Luke was... I see them. Wait for me. Hey, they missed that speech from the arcade, didn't they? Right, now, be careful, because these guys are bastards, Biker Scouts. Don't just sit in front of them. They will fire, they will destroy you. Obviously, be aware of the trees. There's a little bit of slowdown going on. Go for the Ewok traps, bonuses, and they wipe out the bad guys. They start getting really difficult as well. But I do like that metallic noise it makes when they die. Shit! I'm concentrating so hard I'm going to have a nosebleed. Yoink! There is a massive amount of memorization to it, but the problem is you've got to keep on your toes because of the speeder bikes. So you're constantly moving around, but therefore that means when you get to stuff like that, you're poop screwed. I like the fact that the formation repeated itself there. Also, the isometric angle makes it quite difficult, to judge the actual trees, but to be fair, that was also a problem in the arcade. Probably not quite as bad as this, because the arcade, I mean, for the game at the time, graphics were alright, but they were nothing mind-blowing. They were fine. This is not as good as them. I have a gameplay of the arcade. Look, you can move the Death Star. You're doing it with the Force. Obviously, none of the men in the original trilogy could do that, but Rey could, because she never had to do any training whatsoever and was more powerful than every male Jedi added together. And yet Kathleen Kennedy wants to make another movie with her. She's determined to ruin everything good about Lucasfilm, isn't she? But remember, the Force is female. Her words, not mine. He shot me! The scrolling's not the greatest either. So staring at it, I am so glad I got a turbos, because that's what X does on this pad. You're not supposed to have it, you're supposed to have this. Well, you can hammer it pretty quick. Yoink. Scheisenballs. I don't think I got particularly far on the Amiga. I think I managed to get it so I had two wingmen and I was flying over the Star Destroyers, which I always liked. I could never get out of the Death Star. Did I not trigger that? Or does it not trigger when there's no one behind you? I got bonus points, even though I didn't kill anyone. Everyone else hates the Ewoks, don't they? I had no problem with them. I like the whole idea that a small, insignificant, technologically very inferior species could bring the Empire to its knees by just sheer weight of numbers. Say it. Say it. He's not saying it. Should say. Wonderful, you are now part of the tribe. As an actor, I hated Kenny Baker and bullied him. True story. You dick. Oh, cool. So we got that, but we didn't get... Those are definitely lifted from the movie. They probably were in the arcade, but they just weren't as clear and as saucy. But, yeah. So why didn't we get Annie Daniels? You know, the dick who bullied Kenny Baker. Kenny Baker? Kenny Baker? I can't remember. Right, this is where it gets balls hard. Because you want to hang back, but look. I'm hanging back till I absolutely have no choice but to move forward. You know, the opposite of hanging back. But also, the enemy ties are still in here and they will fire at you. The scrolling is not the greatest thing in the world ever. It is nowhere near as smooth and as good looking as the arcade. I'm not going to lie. But, that's poor. That was like a Flash animation. Many years before Flash animations existed. But, yeah, I still have a soft spot for it. Are you loading? You're loading, aren't you? Yeah, thanks for that. But if you were happy with the, or like the arcade game, and this was the only way you could have played it, I guess you probably would have been more than happy. I mean, you got to remember that the other two games, and I have gameplays of them on the Amiga and the arcade and the GameCube, because the arcade games are hidden in the GameCube, right? They were stellar ports. They were damn near arcade perfect. And all the ports of the previous games, you know, on the 8-bits as well. I have gameplays of Spectrum, Amstrad, and Commodore. They were fantastic. But, you know, they were particularly good on the 16-bits. However, if you were a fan of this, you would have been alright. But the thing is, the 8-bit ports of this, they're not as good as this, because they're on the 8-bits. But they're still pretty good. Can't hang back any further than that. He shot me. And it's not a hacked ROM, so I can't put infinite lives in and shit. Because I want to finish this stage, so we go through logs on this one, don't we? So I can show you the AT-80. I sincerely... I can't believe I did that. That one's really difficult, believe it or not. Yeah, I really want to show you the, you know, in space with my wingmen and shit. No, you don't. Look at this bastard. Good to see that the... Fuck it. The trees take them out as well. As well as me. A lot. because I can't work out the angle. Yeah, do you know what? It's not a perfect game. I mean, as an arcade machine, I have nostalgia for it, but it was far less than perfect a game, you know, as a Star Wars game than the other two games because of, you know, the iconic wireframe nature of them. But it's still good and fun. It's just, it's not as good as the arcade. Mainly because you probably should be playing it with a yoke. And also mainly because I do like this. It's like they funkified up the music. I should probably not be playing it with the world's shitest pad. Look what I'm going to do, because I'm mental like that. Ooh. What does this one do then? Music. I thought it changed the music because of that. I'm going to assume they're just going to load it with biker scouts, aren't they? Oh well. So far, no, not really. Are they just going to fire more? It is very satisfying. Hey, dumbass! Very satisfying, banging them into the trees. It doesn't happen very... Hey! So that's on the first stage if we go to this level of difficulty. No! That one's notoriously difficult. How far back does it put us? I don't know. It kind of locks you in. It's weird. I'll take it. I'll take them apples. Fuck. See? I wasn't pressing anything. It moved me. It's like if you're lined up with the hole, it just sucks you in. Yep. That was an incredibly awkward phrase. Oh look, slow down. I'll take that, to be fair. There you go. I might have to play the arcade now, just to see how this compares. It's nowhere near arcade perfect. I know that. Don't have to revisit it to know that. Yoink! I feel the right hand side is probably the easiest side of the screen. Slow down. Shit! But as confirmed, it's absolutely poop screwed me. Watch my Amiga gameplay if you want to see what the other two levels look like, because I sincerely doubt, or the arcade version, you're going to see them in this version. Set! Dodgy scrolling. Look at the size of the droids. In particular, R2. It is alright music. Alright, skip to the end. Hey! So all I had to do was up the difficulty. Fuck! It feels weird. Left and right. My brain wants to press diagonally. All these years, that's all I had to do. Fuck it, I think you know what's happening next. Actually, no, we'll do that level again. Skip to the end. Alright. You're not winning points for this bit, game. Just so you know. Just so you know. It's like it loves its own music so much, it's got to make sure you get a bit of it in your life. Yeah. Hold me, I'm scared. You don't really have to leave me to him. I feel more that the trees are doing a pretty, you know, valiant job. They're taking out us rebel scum. Oh, hey! Oh, I've never seen that. Turns out all these years, me playing it on pussy level ruined the game for me. Yoink! But how do I avoid... You're killing me! You shouldn't be killing me! Right, I think the only way to avoid the bombers is to be on the right hand side of the screen, which is far easier said than done, because there's so much shit that when I see one, do I just dart to the right? Far left or far right? Yeah, that's shit. That's absolute oh. Seriously game, seriously game, seriously game. No. Thank you. It's a bit hit or miss on how quickly it lets you skip levels, I'm not going to lie. Or skip title sequences. Probably just an emulation thing. I see them, wait for me. Come on. Hey! Yoink. Hang on, it sucked me into the fucking side that time. Every hole is not indeed a goal. And then, that's weird. But not that time. I'm just going to stay. I can't though, because now I'm scared of a hole. And no one wants that. It is a bit cheap, the fact that you have to be so terrified when they're behind you, because you can't really do anything about them firing, which means you do have to veer from left to right like a mad bastard, which ultimately lines you up for hitting trees and stuff. But then it's a port from an arcade machine that's made to take your money. Never forget that. Hey, I didn't even have to go through them and he still did me a solid there. Thanks, Ewok dudes. Come on, you all welled up when that Ewok died, got shot by the ATARI ST, spoilers, and then the other Ewok grabbed him, didn't realise he was dead, or even understood what death was. You know you did. That was probably the first experience with death for quite a lot of people back in the day. Come on, where's this bloody tree village? Oh, slow down. I'll take it. Quite a lot of it. Yoink. Gotta be it. God, the scrolling's choppy as tits. It's really doing a number on my eyes. Right, let's see if I can wrap my head around moving on this. Again, forcing me to enjoy your music. Right, it's weird. It's like I tried to move left or right and then it just pushed me straight up the screen. I'm not pressing forwards or backwards. I'm pressing backwards. It's doing nothing. Ooh, oh, fuck off. I mean, you gotta give the arcade credit for trying something different and definitely, you know, picking the good bits from the movie. Yoink! Oh, that's because I'm on level 2, isn't it? Shit. Can I get for the gap? Can I scratch my face? Yes, I can. Got away with that one. Oh, this is it? And I'm dead. But it goes back and forth because it thinks it's the movie, which is kind of cool. Return of the Jedi on the Atari ST pretty much suffers from the same faults as the Amiga and the 8-bits. It's not as good as the arcade. You would have liked it if you had the arcade. It's just too bloody hard for its own good and the controls are a bit shitty. Anyways, always I'd love to know, I think, especially if you played this back in the day. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.